Now let us move over to action. Como, John, what should finance teams, CFOs, taxpayers in Kenya do over the next 30 days?
Okay, thank you. First, create a bill exposure register. After doing all that, we have to identify the tax heads that are really affected by the change. After that, you have also to identify and allocate the responsible people, and you give them deadlines to ensure that all that is done. Further to that, and when you are looking at the tax heads, you have to ensure that if it is pay as you earn, it is reconciled. Withholding income taxes, they are matched with the respective invoices. Then e-teams, invoices, and also custom data that needs to be analyzed and reconciled in a proper manner. Then also the last thing that you also need to check is any contracts that have grossed up exposures. Those ones needs to be reviewed and clearly analyzed. Then the last thing that you need to do is you have to ensure that you review any refund or any credit balances. What this will mean to a CFO is that this should be a properly managed project, not just an email from the tax department to the finance department.
Thank you. That is such an excellent response. What about from your side, Deepa? What are your thoughts?
I think from CFO's perspective, especially SMEs, they now need to do a risk register and look at every tax aspect and see what is their exposure in that for that tax, whether it's withholding tax, VAT, and look at the cash flow impact of those risks, model that impact, and look at different scenarios, review their contracts, deliver a board-ready risk strategy so that within days and not weeks, they can actually assess what that impact will be, and they're running ready for this finance bill 2026 exposure. So as a CFO service providing team, we're already running diagnostics for our clients, and we're seeing some significant exposures in the results. So I think that CFOs really need to up their game and need to start. They may not necessarily need full-time staff for it. They can subcontract this work, but they need to be ready. They need to look at their risks, they need to look at their exposure, and they need to be ready and prepare.
Thank you so much.
And protection is accessible.
Thank you. That is so great. Sergeant, tell us a little bit about control and controls.
Yeah, I mean, I think the addition of control is important. Remember, the tax risk does not entirely sit with the manager or the tax manager. It is a function of the audit and risk committee at the board level, and so they need to have the oversight of the tax risk that is being imposed, and this will enable them to now have those strategic decisions to reduce these exposures and assist them in coping with cash.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.